Hello dear students, welcome you all to the next lecture of the GCE Connect series of online lectures. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about deterioration of structures and its remedial or preventive measures. So firstly, let us try and understand what is deterioration of structures. Deterioration of the structure can be defined as a process of depletion of material property, strength, and overall performance of the structure due to human as well as environmental causes. So deterioration is a process wherein what happens is the material starts losing its property, the strength reduces, in a sense overall performance of the structure comes down. So deterioration is very bad for the structural health, and we got to understand its causes and preventive measures. Deterioration can be caused by human as well as environmental causes. Now, when we have to understand deterioration, we should understand the process. The first aspect to be understood here is deterioration is a very gradual process but which reduces the life of the structure. It happens over a long period of time continuously, but the end results are very much bad for the health of the structure. If proper care against deterioration is not taken in time, it may lead to the collapse or failure of the structure also. Now, deterioration, there are various causes of deterioration. A few are human causes or factors, and some are environmental factors or atmospheric factors. So, this is one of the important questions. List the factors causing deterioration of the structures and suggest the remedial measures. So now let us go ahead and look into some factors which cause deterioration of the structures. Factors causing deterioration. So first one is the human factor. Second one we are considering is the chemicals, effect of chemicals. Third one are the atmospheric or the environmental factors. Fourth is the structural factor. Fifth is the moisture. Sixth is fire. Seventh is the faulty design. Eighth is faulty construction. And the ninth one is the faulty materials. There are n number of causes beyond these also which can be analyzed, but I am discussing these main 9 causes or factors which cause deterioration. So let us start with the discussion of the first factor. So first one is our own, which is the human causes or human factors which cause deterioration. So failure of routine maintenance. So the routine maintenance is in human hands. We can properly plan the maintenance and carry out a routine maintenance, but in maximum cases we fail to do it, and it becomes one of the most important and major causes of deterioration of the structure. Then ignoring the causes of deterioration. Yes, it's in the human behavior or human nature. We tend to ignore the things unless and until they become big. Similarly, what we do is we ignore the factors or causes which are deteriorating the structures. We know that particular cause, that is the stagnant water for example, this might have futuristic effects, but we don't take care of that issue then and there. That is what is, we ignore the causes, which further becomes a big cause of deterioration. The next is lack of awareness about maintenance. Now many times we have seen that we are much more bothered about the interior of the structure. We daily clean our home, we clean our floor. Okay, we want to keep the interior of the structure maintained in the sense neat and clean, but we are least bothered about the exterior of the structure. Many times it happens that we don't clean the rooftop for a year, and suddenly after the rainy season when the water locks, then we remember that we had to clean the rooftop. Okay, so we don't have awareness about maintenance and its importance. Further, we don't carry out timely repairs. If a small crack is developed, we don't repair it then and there. We want the crack to become a bit bigger and bigger and bigger, and when it starts causing deterioration or when it starts causing problems, then we start hunting for the solutions. So not carrying out timely repairs is also a very important factor. Many times this factor comes in at the places where we are using water often. For example, the bathrooms, the water closets, where we have minor leakages. Okay, we try to do some temporary solutions and stop that leakage at that moment, but we don't go for a long time solution, and thus it affects badly and causes deterioration of structure. The next is insufficient maintenance budget. We never have something called as a maintenance budget. Fine, now that concept is coming up, but when we talk about our residences or in some apartments or in some societies, we have some fund called as maintenance that is only used for paying the watchmen or say clearing the electricity bills and maintaining the lift, because for climbing it's difficulty for humans. Okay, whereas cleaning, painting, doing minor repairs, these all things are not given due consideration, and human causes this becomes the most important factor for deterioration of the structure. If we want our structure to be fit, we got to take care of the structure as we take care of our body. As simple as that. So human causes are one of the major causes for deterioration. Now next comes the remedial measures. So what I thought is, let's put up the causes and let's continue with the discussion of the remedial measures then and there, so that we can correlate. So firstly, what we can do is to effectively plan and carry out regular maintenance. Okay, so a monthly plan has to be done and the things have to be maintained. Now under maintenance, all the things come in. It includes the maintenance of the rooftop, it includes the maintenance of the plumbing pipelines, it includes electrical maintenance. So we can plan a routine and enforce that routine such that the problem does not become a bigger issue, and in that case the expenses also increases. So if we make an effective plan and carry out regular maintenance, we can avoid 75 to 80% of the deterioration problems. The next is allocation of a sufficient budget. Yes, this factor also becomes very much important. We got to allocate some amount for maintenance. So maintenance budget has to be fixed and has to be utilized for maintenance purpose only. So this is a very important thing which we got to get into our society so that the after effects are lowered. Next is to carry out regular inspections and identify damages or faults. So it is very much important that an expert carries out the inspection. Say it might be an electrician, it might be a plumber. Okay, so we got to carry out these timely inspections so that the damages or the faults are identified when they are at the initial or root level itself. Because if the faults or damages are not identified, they further grow up and become a major cause of deterioration, which hits badly both the structure as well as repairing it is a financial burden. Further, to carry out timely repair, once we identify the cause, it has to be repaired, but we have a tendency to postpone. For example, say if a tap is leaking, we will not repair it unless and until it starts leaking to a huge quantity of water. When it starts losing or it goes to the next level, then we tie it up using some cloth or a rope or something temporary. Then we start hunting for a plumber, and those all things are done. But initially what happens is, it's a small visor arrangement which can be done easily. So we don't do it then and there. Similarly, the wooden articles or say wooden doors, wooden windows, okay, which can have the probability of getting damaged, we don't maintain them properly. Say the iron grills and all, if we maintain them, if we paint them properly with the oil paint, they don't get rusted, but we are least bothered about it. So to carry out timely repairs is a very important thing or and remedial measures which can reduce deterioration. So these are few factors which can be the remedial measures against the human causes for deterioration. One more to add to it is carry out annual maintenance activity such as painting or replacement of faulty components. So annual maintenance in that painting becomes very important because it gives the enhanced look to your structure as well as it acts as a protective layer. So as we apply a sunscreen to our body when we are going out in hot sun, similarly a coat of paint acts as an protective layer. It prevents the inner structure from rain, from heat, etc. And hence this annual activities have to be planned in the yearly budget. So after human causes, let us go for discussing some chemical causes. Now these we don't come across often, but when we come across, they have a severe effect. So first is the interaction of some chemicals with the structural components used for cleaning. So many times we used strong chemicals for cleaning, such as acids we use phenyls, etc. Now these components, when they come in the contact with the structural members, they react with the material. Okay, and this reaction on the long term basis can lead to some deterioration. So when we are using the chemicals, we should take care of this factor that they don't cause any reaction with the members or the building components. Then exposure to highly acidic or saline environment. In many cases, especially in industries or say in the coastal regions, the structures are exposed to highly acidic or saline environment, which becomes a cause of chemical deterioration. Next is the improper storage of materials before they are used for construction. Yes, many times what happens is the materials are stored anyhow, especially I am talking about reinforcement. Then the reinforcement undergoes chemical reaction and it undergoes rusting. Rarely we see the steel in its original color, which is silver. Okay, whatever the steel we see is brownish only, that is, it already has a layer of rust on it. That's what is the corrosion factor. Okay, so that's what is the corrosion factor. So corrosion, deterioration because of corrosion is the most common thing which we all have observed. If you have not observed, please go outside somewhere the construction will be going on in and around, check the reinforcement there. It will be brownish in color. That is because of your chemical deterioration. Now, going on the other side, if we want to prevent this chemical deterioration, what can we do? So firstly, understanding the nature and reactivity of the chemicals, if when we are using it for cleaning or say for pest control and all this stuff, we should understand which chemicals we are using, how is their nature, how will they react with the building components. Because many times if you have decorative interiors and if you spray the chemicals, that might cause a permanent damage to those interiors, such as POPs and all. If you have, it can cause a huge damage. Okay, so you should properly understand what type of chemicals you are using for cleaning and other purposes on the structure. Then wrapping or coating of the materials exposed to severe exposure conditions. Now severe exposure condition means which are constantly exposed to acids, such as the furnaces in the industries, okay, and the structures which are in touch with the marine environment, etc. We have to go for some chemical coating which prevents them. Now here chemical itself can be used for preventing your damage or deterioration. Then next is preventing the reinforcement from getting corroded. Yes, anti-corrosion paints we have, anti-corrosion layers, coatings we have, which have to be applied on the reinforcement, and we can prevent it. So best way of preventing the corrosion is taking proper care of the things, and if you are able to do it, you can achieve or you can overcome the chemical deterioration. So Thank you for your patient hearing. We'll continue with the further aspects in the next lecture. Thank you.